going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, Elite Mechanics. We are continuing on for part 3 of the Ferrari 30K service, so let's get into it. Before we get started, a little update. I got my motor back together. I'll be coming into the shop tomorrow. Today's Friday, so I'll come in tomorrow and try and get this puppy in the car. I have the car up on the rack, ready to go. So looking forward to doing that. She's been waiting for her motor. But yeah, made a lot of progress on the Ferrari. You can see we have a lot of old parts here. So let's get into how we got it all done. Alright, so we're back at it, and last we left off, we set this pin and it can move freely in and out. That's what we want. We can also use a feeler gauge to verify our gap of the tensioner. So the specs for the gap are 1.9 to 2.3 millimeters. So we can put that together, kind of check it with the feeler gauge, see if we're there or not. That's spot on. So now we're ready to lock the cams gears together. We're going to use the factory Ferrari tool, which is some vice grips, literally. And we're going to lock these camshafts together so they cannot move. Alright, we got the cam gears locked, which is what we want. Now we are free to pull apart the tensioner, and that's a 17 millimeter. So we're gonna hit that 17 mil bolt, take that out. Oh, it's tight. So the slack's off the belt now. And now that we got that loosened up, we can remove it completely. And pull the belt off. There it is, belt's removed. Now I need to unbolt the tensioner itself and bolt the new one up. So let's get those off. The tensioner bolts are 13 millimeter. Let's get those out. Sorry about the dyno, it's super loud. Set our new tensioner in place. tighten up the bolts. You don't want to go too tight because these are helicoiled in the brackets. That's just how they come from Ferrari. Got those in. And now for our new upgraded Hill Engineering tensioner. Ferrari timing belt. And remember, we want to put the slack on the tensioner side. That's where we want all of our slack. Alright, so I like to use these clips here to help me get the belt kind of routed and on. Once you have all the slack on the tensioner side right here, you should be able to kind of just slide it over. Make sure it's fully mated. Release your clips. All of our marks still match, and the belt's on, and there's no slack anywhere but where the tensioner is, which is how we wanted it. The next step is to loosen up the tensioner. I only have it hand tight, and use our tensioner tool. Find it. And set the tension to where the pin can move freely in and out. So right here at this tension, my pin moves very freely, which is what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and lock down the tensioner now with our 17. Oh shit, it's a 13. Double check the pin moves freely. And lock down the 17. Okay, so I got it kind of tight. Verify that this works. Nope, see, my tensioner is tight now at my pin. I can't move it freely. So now I gotta loosen it back up and try again. Okay, got it semi-tight. And the tensioner, the pin and the tensioner moves freely. That's what we're looking for. Still moves freely. We'll finalize it by checking it with our feeler gauge. And our feeler gauge fits pretty dang perfectly. Verify our marks all match up before we release the vice grips. And it would seem that everything seems good. The last check we're going to do is we're going to actually use our cell phone. Gates has an app that I have downloaded, and Gates Belt is a pretty trustworthy source. It's called Gates Carbon Drive is the app. and we're gonna measure the hertz when I strummed the belt. Ferrari has a tool, but I don't have the Ferrari tool, it's very expensive. So we're gonna take 2 measurements, one here and one here, and see what the frequencies are. And then use the hertz reader to strum the belt. You want to strum it here, and you want to strum it here. And together, the readings that you get should be anywhere between 190 to 220 hertz. So you take this one, you take this one, and you add them together, and then you got to get it between 190 and 220. That's how you know your tension's set correctly. Leave it to Ferrari to make it complicated. Alright, so I let it sit for about 10 minutes to double check that this hasn't moved at all, and it's still good. So we are right where we need to be. Our tension is set, belt feels good, and since our pin moves freely, we're all done with that. Take that out, and we move on to the next side. So the next side is basically identical to what we just did here. The only difference is I was telling you guys in my last video about the dowel pin and the updated bracket for some of these models. This is a newer car, so it should have the updated bracket. And if it doesn't, then I'm kind of screwed and I gotta order it. But on this tensioner, you can see this dowel pin here. So let me get this apart, and then I will show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's the old tensioner. It has this because it's a newer model. In the bracket itself, you can see it's recessed for a dowel. On the old brackets, there is no recessment for a dowel. You either have to remove this out and put it on flat like it was, or do the updated bracket. So that's what I'm talking about. All right, so both sides got the belts on. Our new belts with the light. It's all fresh. You can see that, but yeah, new belts. And these tensioners, torque them down to 49 Newton meters. That's the torque spec for these bolts. Rotate the engine by hand, and obviously before you do that, make sure that your pins and your tensioners move in and out freely, like so. That's about it. That wraps up the service. I did the water pump off camera. Sorry about that. It's super easy, and I put the new belt on. But it's just 2 Allens. You loosen them, and there's a bolt here. The water pump slides down and up the belt, and then you pull this pulley off. But that's no big deal. If you got this far, you can definitely do this on your own. Everything else goes back together in reverse order. And don't forget to buy new gaskets for the rear valve cover plates where we check TDC. You're gonna need these, so make sure you pick these up. Replace them on both sides. I'm gonna be doing sticky button repair as well. All these buttons and the vents get all gross and sticky, so I sent them all out for repair. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you get something out of this and you're able to do your own 30K. Don't forget your 36 mil 6-point socket, and torque the crank bolt down to 196 Newton meters is very important. Alright, so the cooling system's got coolant, timing's all together. I got Kim in the car helping me out. Say hi, Kim.
Hello.
And you can see all the timing covers, everything's put back. So the first thing we're gonna do before the first startup is turn the battery power back on because we disconnected it. So we're gonna open the hood up. Right there in the corner is the battery switch. I'm going to rotate that for power on. Alright, we got juice. It's ready to start up. Kim's going to have the honors. No check engine light. Looks like we did good.
Sounds amazing.
Thank you for watching my video. I hope this video is informative and it helps you. Whether you're a mechanic or you're just a 360 owner trying to do your own maintenance, as long as my videos are getting out there and helping people accomplish new things or teaching them something they didn't know before, then I'm happy. If you could, please like, subscribe, and share. It helps me make more videos for you guys. I really like doing this and I want to keep doing it. It can be sometimes difficult, especially when I have a lot going on at the shop or life, whatever it may be, but I definitely want to keep coming out with good content for you guys. If you have any requests or certain things that come through my shop a lot that you know about, that you want me to do a video on, please put it in the comment section and I'll be happy to do that. Till next time, I'll see you guys.